Aloha everyone, this is Krista Laksmi-Ditton and I'm saying aloha from Hawaii, the big island. And I'm about to start my live on Facebook, so just a moment and I'm gonna do the aloha again, sorry about that. Aloha everyone, this is Krista Laksmi-Ditton and I'm saying aloha from Hawaii, the big island. And I'm so glad to be here today with you and share these amazing stories and inspiration from my own life. And I hope that some of you will show up while I'm sharing all of this. And if not, if you go through this later, I'm very glad anyways. So please give your comments, ideas, inspiration in the comments on the side or below if you're looking through it later. So today is a really amazing day. It's another Monday. It is January. Many of you maybe even have your birthdays or anything other special stuff happening. So anyways, congratulations. We have made it to another Monday and are creating our lives the best way we can. I'm myself kind of recovering from last week when me and Michael, we were putting together our first launch for Infinite Activation subscription program for 12 months. And we worked our asses off, literally. It was like so much work. And every time we opened up one little thing technically, then another 5 things, popped up. So it takes a lot of time and effort to put it all together into a system so that it can become that sustainable kind of abundance machine so that you finally can like wake up and kind of, earn money while you are sleeping. So what an amazing way and world we are living in. But today's topic is I wanted to share about feedback in our lives. And many of us, we have probably grown up or been in society or culture where feedback has been kind of mostly negative or not very inspiring and supportive. Out of all of these 20 years I've been working with people, I have met very few people who have had happy childhoods and have had that support and positive feedback while they were growing up. This is the reality, and I really hope this is changing as we are becoming more and more conscious and doing things in a different way, because it is about time. Like with myself, many of you maybe don't know, my mother lost parental rights when I was around, like, I think 12 years old. And my sister at the time who lived with her had to move to come to live with me and my dad and my grandmother, my grandmother's, so my dad's mom. And this was really good to have my sister back. But of course, it was really sad that we kind of lost contact with my mom for many, many years. And once I got my own son, I had a very brief meeting with her and started to reconnect through letters and so on. But it was very short because some years later she died and her body was found by the river and no one even knows what happened. So, but what's really amazing today, I will share also one amazing magical story which is connected to my mom and how she actually has helped me also through the spirit world, because I believe in that kind of thing. So that's that. But what's really interesting is that my grandmother or my dad or many of their family, they didn't know actually what it means to have positive feedback or give conscious positive feedback, for especially for kids, because we are growing, we need that feedback so we will get more motivated and inspired. So I was actually growing up in that negative kind of marinade all the time. So I'm so lucky that my psychic is so like strong that I went through it and it didn't break me, because many people it breaks them or they kind of turn out really kind of messy as adults. And because I've worked so much with myself since I was like 17, 18 years old. So I've managed to become aware and conscious of so many of these different patterns from that time. But now, during the last 2 years, I've been doing really up close online classes with some of my clients. And one of the things which came out was that many of them had the similar trouble. And I was starting to observe it. And after some time, I realized that actually what has happened is that they actually haven't had enough of that positive feedback, and also it hasn't like supported their self-value, or they don't know how to set boundaries. They don't many of these things were kind of out of place. And as we started to focus on these things, I actually even made like a system, which we probably will also introduce with Michael during this 12 months program. So when we started to work with that, it actually started to really give results. And even in myself, I started to realize like, this is this thing and this is connected to this. And all the systems which come to me, like I kind of download, actually come through awareness and also the new time energy. So this is really cool to kind of figure it out and make it very clear, so that also these new time people can kind of click right away. And if they are not there, then, kind of figure it out on their way. So I see someone is like popping in and out. So it would be really nice to know who you are, because I have no idea. So if you say aloha with a little comment here, would be really nice. So I know who is there. So with all of this negative feedback, it made me strong. I kind of started to get motivated by the negative stuff. So if someone said, hey, Crystal, you can't do this, or you possibly can't manage this or can't achieve this, it actually motivated me to prove them otherwise. So many of those things, like kind of living abroad, like I've lived abroad almost like 15 years now. And I've been like doing things which like most people would never even do. So I've had enormous courage and enormous power to go through things. And it hasn't been easy, but it has been that motivational kind of, kick behind me. And when I started to do my spiritual work in Estonia more publicly, since like 2005, I started to do public workshops and different courses and classes, and also sessions, private sessions. Lots of media articles were coming up, or I went to even radio or different places and so on. And what happened then was that I started to get a lot of negative feedback. In Estonia, we have a very difficult kind of cultural background and collective culture, and we have lots of collective wounds. And many countries have been conquering Estonia. We were occupied recently by Russia for 50 years. And all of these things have actually left really deep wounds in people's psychic, mental abilities, but also the way we are interacting with each other. And now, as I'm living outside of Estonia most of the time, I actually start to see these patterns much more and much more clearly. And then also I start to see it in other cultures, like, in Mexico, where I spent quite a lot of time, and now here in Hawaii or in the States. So it's really interesting to kind of observe how this is kind of, carried on or copied from one generation to another. And so when that negative feedback started to come back, which is very common in Estonia still, we have more negative feedback and negative stuff kind of up in the surface than the positive stuff. So now it's changing, and people are bringing up like good news and like different things, so which is really cool. But so when that negative feedback started to come back to me, I was like crushed. I was like, oh my God, how can they even say something like that? I'm like working so hard and I'm trying so hard and so on. So I kept going. And one day I got this letter, handwritten letter, that I'm going to be like killed. Like this one person was kind of warning that she's going to come and kill me because I'm too successful and doing things the way she thinks I shouldn't do. And I went to the police with this one because I didn't know if they are going to really be serious about it and if my life is in danger. So, and in police, they said, no, we can't do anything. It's not enough to say that she's going to actually do it. So I tried the best to kind of keep myself, out of trouble and be very careful everywhere where I went. And that was not fun time at all. And later, many of you don't know, spiritual workers, coaches, we actually have lots of psychic attacks, people who are against us or against the work we do or whatever. So I've had so many of those over the years. I've been working with people now for 20 years, so has been quite a wide variety of experiences. And we don't usually talk about it because it's not very comfortable and it's not very something like most people are, wanting to talk about. But I'm the kind of person I want to talk about both, like whatever is in our lives, we need to talk about everything. So, and giving it like voice, And so what happened was one of those times I actually happened to get into the hospital and the psychic attack was crazy. It was a group of people, spiritual people working with it. And I figured out what group it was and so on and where. And I was supposed to go actually to see my dad, who just got in to a hospital because of his 4 stages of cancer. And then what happened was that, I was really trying to, focus to get myself together so I could go and see my dad because I was so afraid, something worse can happen. And it did. So like the next Friday, I was supposed to go and see him on Saturday, and Friday he died. So, so both of my parents are dead. So that was really sad story. And what later came out was that basically my dad sacrificed his life because that moment when they were about to almost like kind of kill me with this psychic attack, and I was in the hospital, and in the hospital they told me, like, if you had come in 3 hours later, I wouldn't have been here today to tell you this story. So that was really, really crazy. So what happened was, so I got myself kind of back on track. And then when I got myself back on track, then this story came with like talking to my dad's spirit. And he said, yeah, it's really, problematic. The thing is, it's like kind of a choice here. I go or you go, and I see that your life is much more valuable because you can help so many more people. Like I'm already sick and so on. So I'm going to give up and I kind of give my life to you. So, and that happened. And then I was so sad. It kind of, I was very connected to my dad, even though he was an alcoholic and there was lots of trouble with him all the time too. He was the one who actually really pushed me to become the explorer I have been, the courageous person I have been. So on that level, I'm forever grateful. And many of the courageous steps I've done is exactly because of him. So rest in peace, mom and dad. And then after some time, of course, you get kind of really, in a way, you get strong. Like it almost feels like you have an extra skin on you because it's like kind of, it doesn't really bother you anymore because you know also more who you are, what's your value, what you do, and so on. And just recently, I interviewed Kaia Kanepi, who is one of the best tennis players in Estonia, and I asked, how is it for you with this kind of like negative feedback? And she's like, I don't listen to it. I'm not looking for it. I'm completely ignoring it. And that's the best thing. Or if someone says it, she knows what she's worth, what she has been done to get there where she is. So she just doesn't give energy to it. So that's the best way to do it. But many people just don't have that knowledge or that courage or even strength to do that, or awareness to do that. So on that level, it's really important to kind of be more aware. But today, what I was thinking, first I was thinking I'm going to do a little snapshot to share with you guys some of the feedback I've got recently. And because one of them was really, really dear to me and it even made me cry, I wanted to do that. And the first idea was that I'll find some negative and then some positive and then kind of give you both. But then I decided just the positive because there is already too much negative. So I decided just to choose the positive feedback. So I'm going to share with you a couple of these in English. So after our presentation with Michael on Saturday, I sent the link to this presentation to many of our friends. And I asked them to go through to give us feedback, what they think about this program, and if there is anything else we can do better. And here is one lady friend who I got to know during one Hawaiian retreat in 2011. And that's what she's saying, Ruby Moon. What can I say? But wow, I'm so impressed with your presentation, the level of the work you are both doing. I think you definitely have more than a $29 a month value, but it is a good place to start as you build. But I'm sure you already know this. I've already sent the introductory link to my nephew, who I think would benefit from this if I could just light his fire. I'm hoping he will watch it and decide to participate. I really enjoyed that you and Michael not only talk about what you believe, but that you share experiences and instances from your own life. So it makes the class much more intimate and more interesting. I can also say that while I'm choosing not to sign up, your presentation certainly had me thinking that I should possibly rethink this. However, I just retired at the end of last year, and I'm truly committed at the moment to enjoying the freedom of not having any commitments to anything other than my whims and my miracle of a husband for the near future. It's a lovely after 24 years being self-employed in a service industry, massage. And I actually complimented her back to her that thank you for being so honest, not taking on something, which you kind of feel that would be too much for you at the moment. Crystal, I know we don't know each other well, and I'm always surprised you even remember who I am. But since that class with Harry, when you told me your mom had passed, and if I remember correctly that she and I share a birth date, I have felt compelled to pay attention to where you have been in the world through Facebook, sometimes more than others. It has been amazing to follow you and see where you have been. The courage you have shown, the strength it takes to put one foot in front of the other to keep growing. You are your own miracle, and look at what wonders you have brought. Bravo. And additional one from her, you are one of the strongest people I know. The fact that you keep putting yourself out there in spite of your self-doubt is amazing. Not many have the fortitude. Remember how many times you have crossed the globe following your heart and dreams. I don't know anyone else who has ever manifested as much. Keep moving forward. So this was so touchy. When I got it first, I was crying because at the time I was going through a breakup and I had real trouble and I was completely devastated. And then the universe sends me this amazing lady whose birthday is exactly the same day as my mom. And basically also the same year. It's like, what are the odds? So I felt my mom was actually helping me that moment. And sometimes it is like, it feels like they can actually help you even more from the other side than they could maybe on this side. And oftentimes also when I see people's family dynamics, their parents are maybe a little bit too much in the rational kind of or old-time thinking, and then it just creates so much trouble because they haven't connected to their heart and to their awareness yet. So that makes it so much harder. So I'm going to share a couple of additional ones, and then I'll kind of wrap it up so that you understand like why I'm even doing this. So these kind of like feedback I get maybe once or twice or 3 times a year. It's very, very rare. And this is another thing, like, you know, if there is someone good in your life or something good is happening in your life, there is never too much of good feedback. So we oftentimes forget that, and we're really fast to give like negative feedback, but it's very important to give that positive feedback as well. So here is another lady who did go through the 8 months class with me online. And by the end of this last year, she sent me a really cute little message. I would love to thank you especially for the contribution you have given me to help me to change my life. I'm grateful to you for the gift of the wonderful understanding of my life and lessons. And she did the class really well. She did homework every time. She delivered every time. She was so on it, like it was amazing. And she created amazing results. She even won in lottery in like thousands of euros, and her lifestyle completely changed, and her like energy and time and money and, you know, everything. So it was like a major transforming experience. There is another one. Dear Krista Ra, I'm so very grateful to you that I can trust you and express my feelings and thoughts without feeling embarrassment. I'm so grateful to the universe that she sent me this amazing gift during this year of 2018, as you have been to me. I wish you and Michael a lot of abundance on all levels. So this is another amazing student who is part of the 8 months class, and she has been also excellent. She has even done other classes and other things, coaching on the side with the 8 months class. Unbelievable lady. So very, very glad to receive this one. And this morning, I actually got one, which is really cool. After people come to me in Estonia to do the aura transformation, which is one of the ways you can upgrade your aura into the new time energy, indigo crystal golden energy. So I also give them like a little card, which is like kind of their certificate to become this new person in the new energy and new aura. And this person actually found it this morning. So this was really cool. So this is in Estonian, so I try to kind of translate as I read it. So thank you so much, New Time Mom. So because I'm like kind of rebirthing them into the new energy, so many of them are calling me New Mom. This is exactly how I feel because on my new time certificate, I have the date 14th of January 2009. And so I'm 10 years old. So within these 10 years, I have had amazing transformations, changes, understanding. I have had losses and wins. All the experiences have taught me, and I'm so happy that I have chosen this road. Everything has kind of happened with your support and with you, even if you don't know yourself, even if you don't know it yourself. Thank you that you have been beside me, and also sometimes kind of given a kick-ass kick and brought me back to the reality. So what else? Just kind of moving forward fully and all together. I feel so happy inside of me. It's really interesting that I didn't find this birth certificate before just today, 10 years ago. Wow, this is powerful. And yeah, she has been a kind of person who has been with me like since like 2005, and she has come to so many classes and experiments and things I have been doing all these years. And now as I'm like starting to offer all these things in English, then all these courses and things I'm putting together will be so much better because I have tested them out for almost 20 years already. So all the English speaking people, you get actually the maximum of it. So and then I also had another one. This is all in Estonian. I didn't have time to translate it, but shortly, it's basically one person giving me feedback. how many different kind of talents I have, things I'm doing, and how she's actually have noticed these things and appreciated these things. So she's actually mentioning 39 different talents and roles I'm having in my life, in my business and overall. So really amazing. So why is it I'm reading this positive feedback? It's not to kind of say me, I'm the best, but it's actually to inspire you with one little technique. And this technique is basically, if you have positive feedback coming to you, maybe it's a card or email or a message or a letter, you can actually collect all of these. Like I have these 3 pages here. I can put it into a box or into a bottle or into a specific place, which will be my positive feedback magic box in a way. And then once I have a very low moment when someone is giving me a negative feedback, I can actually reach out to this. And of course, no question about it. When I read something so positive, how it has impacted and how someone has been admiring me for all these years as well. So that also brings me back to like, I am a great person. I am doing great things. I'm giving great value. So this is amazing. And even if there are those others who are giving other feedback, then I'm not supposed to listen to these people. And if they are giving constructive criticism, yes, I can go through it and think what I can do better. But otherwise, no, I have to stay centered. So now I'll give you, in addition to this one, I always try to give you some free takeaways. So this was the first takeaway, what you can do. And second one is, if someone is giving you feedback, a negative feedback, always kind of check through like, okay, is this true? Like, how do I feel? Like, is this person lying? Are they doing this because they are actually jealous or whatever the reason is? And if not, then you can give the feedback and say like, this is not true, what you are saying, and you are saying it whatever the reason is. So it's really important to give feedback to these people as well. So, and in addition, the energy exercise, which I've already probably shared also here, but if you haven't got it yet, so this is the new time energy thing. So if someone has done something bad or negative and gives you that feedback, you can do this. Pull back all your energies and imagine that around your body you have this cleansing filter. So this is cleansing all your energy. And then you breathe out and you send back all their energy. And this one you don't clear. Everyone has to clear their own energy. And then if you already have the new aura, or you have been born since like 1995, or gone through aura transformation or aura adjustment. So you can also add the third one, my balanced body will balance me now. And then this will kind of balance everything, because oftentimes people also give us negative feedback in order for us to lose our grounds or, kind of, get out of balance. So these energy pull exercises help you to really stay grounded and not let someone, push you off your place, And what's really funny, yesterday we also watched the movie, The Rich Asians. I don't know if you have ever seen that movie, but I really recommend it. I actually thought it's going to be more kind of superficial, but it had actually a really deep message in it as well. So one of the messages which was really kind of amazing, which reminded me of my kind of experiences in my life, was that when someone is putting you down because they think they are more, or that you are not like, I don't know, enough or whatever. I had many of these things happening with in many of my relationships. And sometimes it wasn't even my partner, but it was their grandmother or their mother or someone else in their family who thought I was not good enough, or I was like, whatever my background was, wasn't good enough, or whatever, mistakes were done, it was like my mistake and so on. And I had so much of that, like in the first years of, going into my adulthood. Like, it was just crazy how much it was. But it was also because I was living in Estonia, and this is what people did at the time. So oftentimes people were not conscious enough that, this actually may influence someone in a very bad way. And I remember this time I was living in a town where I actually was born, in the middle of Estonia, called Paide. And I managed to get my own radio show, talk show actually, into that radio. And it was so cool to say my name and then do that show and talk to someone, and kind of be in like people's homes and stuff through that radio station. And that was really cool that I could do that. And I worked in another radio station also before. Many people don't know that about me. So, and then this was like confirmation for me that, wow, I'm actually, I am enough. And look at me, I'm doing a radio show in Paide. Like, I have my own radio show in Paide. Like, wow, who has that? It's not everyone has that. So that was really amazing. I had so much fun. And we are thinking of starting to do also more like podcast kind of stuff with Michael and so on. So I can't wait to get back to more of this kind of stuff. It's really, really fun. So this is all for today. So all of these 3 tools, put them in use. Make your positive box where you put your positive feedback. When you have a low moment, you take this up, you read it, and you remember and remind yourself that you are actually a good person, whatever they say out there. And then do the energy work. And then if someone gives you negative feedback, then also kind of look into that. Is that actually what it's like? And then also, if you see that someone needs your constructive criticism, try to put it into as positive feedback as you can, because you can actually say also positive things, and kind of guide people through positive things instead of saying like, hey, do this or this way, which is much more helpful. And before I wrap it up, I'm really, really glad that I could do this and be here for you. And I want you all to know that I am really very, very excited to share more of my gifts and tools and knowledge and experiences more globally in English. And I hope my English is understandable. It's not too crazy accent. And that we can build a relationship over some time, and I can offer you more and more value. And today I will also put a link underneath this video in case you missed it. This last Saturday, we had a big launch with Michael, and for our 12-month subscription. So if you didn't see it, I'll put the link, and then when you open it, it's the sales link, but you can scroll it down and it has the whole full 1 hour presentation there. So you can go through it and enjoy it and see if this is something for you. And right now we have a special, so it's $1 for 7 days to check it out. And then if you don't cancel it, it goes into $29 per month. And that's a great value. It's actually, the material is worth of hundreds and thousands of dollars actually. So this is something we offer, and $29 per month for the next year. Amazing 2 guides, put together our knowledge. So we hope to see you there as well. So my lives, I will see. Maybe I'll continue to do it every week, maybe every other week. There is a lot going on in the coming next week, so I probably have to jump over some, but come to my Facebook page and you will see the information, and I'll probably start to put it also under the events, so you have a better overview where I'm going to be here. So aloha, all the best, and see you soon. And I wish you all the best. And If you found value in this, you can always comment underneath the video if this topic was really touching you, and if you're gonna use the tools I gave you today. Mahalo, aloha, and see you soon.